Most people believe poverty begins in the wallet. They are wrong. Poverty begins in the mind, long before it ever shows up in your bank account. And if you are honest with yourself, you already know this, because you have seen intelligent men remain poor, talented men remain stuck, hard-working men stay in the same place year after year, not because they lacked opportunity, but because they practiced a mental habit that quietly kept them broke. Today, I want to show you that habit, and if this message makes you uncomfortable, do not turn away. Discomfort is often the first sign that truth has arrived. The habit has a name. The habit is called survival thinking. Survival thinking trains the mind to react instead of direct, to cope instead of command, to endure instead of decide. The survival mind wakes up asking, what do I need to deal with today? The wealth-building mind wakes up asking, what am I building toward today? That single difference repeated daily determines whether a man remains broke or becomes powerful. Survival thinking feels sensible, but it is deadly. Survival thinking pretends to be practical. It says, I'm just being realistic. I can't take risks right now. I'll think bigger once things stabilize. But realism without vision is simply fear wearing respectable clothing. Survival thinking keeps your attention locked on, bills instead of leverage, expenses instead of value, safety instead of growth. And whatever the mind focuses on, it multiplies. A man who thinks only about getting by will never create more than enough. Money does not respond to need. Here is a truth few people understand. Money does not respond to desperation. Money responds to direction. You can work harder than everyone you know and still remain broke, because effort without direction scatters energy. The survival thinker asks, what will pay me now? The builder asks, what will reward me later? One thinks in days, the other thinks in systems, and systems always outpace effort. The trap of responsible struggle. One of the most dangerous lies a man can tell himself is this: at least I'm being responsible. Responsibility without ambition becomes a cage. You pay your bills, you avoid risk, you stay within your limits, and slowly, quietly, your life shrinks. You become dependable, but never powerful. And money does not move toward men who only maintain. It moves toward men who expand. Comfort is the silent enemy. Comfort is not harmless. Comfort delays decisions. Comfort softens urgency. Comfort convinces you there is time, but wealth demands urgency before comfort appears. Every man who escaped poverty did so by enduring a season of instability, a period where growth mattered more than safety. The man who waits until he feels ready will remain exactly where he is. Status without substance. Many men mistake appearance for progress. They dress better. They talk confidently. They consume motivation, yet nothing changes financially. Why? Because status without leverage is illusion. A man who trades time for money will always compete with someone willing to trade it for less. But a man who builds value that multiplies escapes the competition entirely. Money rewards ownership, not effort alone. The question that exposes the truth. Ask yourself this honestly. Am I building or merely maintaining? Maintenance keeps you alive. Building makes you free. If your energy goes into protecting what little you have, you will never create what you desire. Wealth demands movement before certainty, action before proof. And this is where most men retreat. Fear speaks softly. Fear does not shout. It whispers. It says, once things settle down and years pass. The man who waits for certainty waits forever. The man who acts with conviction attracts certainty later. This is not recklessness. This is leadership of the self. Your thoughts are instructions. Every repeated thought becomes a command. When you say, I can't afford that, your mind hears, stop thinking beyond limits. When you say, that's not realistic for me, your mind hears, stay where you are. The mind obeys whatever you repeat most. You do not rise to the level of your hopes. You sink to the level of your dominant thoughts. The habit that replaces survival thinking. The opposite of survival thinking is purposeful expectation. It is the habit of assuming growth before evidence appears. It sounds like, this will work because I will adjust. I am becoming someone money can trust. I think in outcomes, not obstacles. Expectation shapes behavior. Behavior shapes results. Results shape identity. And identity determines income. Money tests the man. Money is not emotional. It is exact. It tests your patience, discipline, self-image. If you see yourself as someone who merely survives, money will treat you accordingly. If you see yourself as a builder, money begins to cooperate with your plans. You are not broke because of lack of opportunity. You are broke because a mental habit, once useful, has outlived its purpose. Survival thinking kept you alive, but it will not make you powerful. And the moment you abandon it, truly abandon it, your decisions change, your posture changes, your results follow, because money does not come to those who need it. It comes to those who decide.